Hello and welcome to the Cardboard Guide. We would love to be your guide to kitchen table magic and other TCGs. Today I will present my Kaalia of the Vast deck. It's a pretty casual commander deck, and I've been putting it together for a pretty long time. So it's not completely optimized to be super competitive, but it's optimized to be super fun. So if you really like to swing with some big creatures, big demons, dragons, and angels, this might be an interesting deck for you. So Kaalia of the Vast herself will be your commander. She has one generic, a white, a black, and a red, and she's 2/2. She's flying, but this is where the fun comes in. Whenever Kaalia of the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that opponent. So that is pretty fun. This means you'll be able to cast some huge, big creatures without having to pay the mana cost. We need to discuss a bit about the downside of Kaalia. One of her problems is that she's only 2/2, so you are going to need some sort of protection for her. Also because this card sees a lot of hate. As soon as she enters the battlefield, people will be trying to remove her. She's fast, she comes down relatively quickly, especially if we help her with the aid of a couple of artifacts. And people who try to play it against her, they know what she can do when she hits the battlefield. So they will be trying to remove her. So in order to try to protect our commander, we have some different options here. First of all, I use a Whisper Silk Cloak. It makes it unblockable, and she can't be the target of any spells or abilities. A bit expensive, but it works really nicely. Another cheap and pretty useful option is Swiftfoot Boots. Then she has Hexproof and Haste. For me personally, I really like the Swiftfoot Boots because the fact that it has haste, it makes sure that you can get her down onto the battlefield and get a big demon, angel, or dragon out pretty much right away. That's really important because then if you lose Kaalia to some exile or some sort of removal, then you will still have a large creature that you can attack with. So I really like Swiftfoot Boots for this one. Also, Lightning Creeps is also a great action, a great artifact to try and protect her. Again, something that gives her haste, and then there's none of your opponent that can counter her. So that's pretty useful as well. And again, we want her down as quickly and attacking as quickly as possible because that's when she really shines. So you need one generic and 3 different color mana to get this commander down. Today I won't be discussing any of your mana options because if you're a casual player, if you just want to have some fun, if your gaming group isn't that competitive, just get some swamps, mountains, and some plains, and you'll be fine. If you want more expensive options, I mean mana and in general lands, you can use a lot of money on them, and you can get this deck to be far more competitive. So I have a nice little mix. I have some, special lands, and I have some basic mana as well. I have a bit of each. But Kaalia is going to need to be able to fetch some really cool creatures. And for my deck, I'm a little heavy on the angel side, so I have more angels than I have demons and dragons. And I'm just gonna be presenting a few of them because, again, depending on your play style and what you like to play and how you like to play, you can choose whatever angels, demons, and dragons you like. But I will present a few of the ones that I really like to play with. So for me, getting to put Avacyn into action, tapped and attacking on the battlefield without having to pay that really huge mana cost of 8 mana that's a lot of fun. Besides getting her down for no mana at all, she also has Flying, Vigilance, and Indestructible, and all your other permanents gain Indestructible. So I mean, that's really great. And if you're able to get her down, suddenly you have a lot of protection. Of course, not against exile, but you have a lot of protection on all your other permanents as well. So that's one angel I really recommend you consider putting in your Kaalia deck. I also have Lyra the Dawnbringer. Again, I have chosen her because she has a bit of a lower mana cost. So in case I don't have Kalia available because she's exiled or removed in some way, she's actually Lyra. You can get her out with just paying the mana cost without it being too difficult. And additionally, she's also a lord, so you get a +1/+1 and get some lifelink besides flying first strike. So this is really, that's also a good card, and it adds a little bit of life gain for you. Baneslayer Angel, that's pretty much the same thing. She's not that high of a mana cost, so you can get her down in case Kalia is out for a while. She has flying first strike, lifelink, protection for demons and dragons, which is a little bit funny considering that she's fighting alongside those demons and dragons in this deck. So those were the angels that I decided to sort of present you, and I'll just flip through some of the other angels that I have in this deck. But please consider that you can play what you have available. You can play whatever you think is fun. And again, the ability to sort of just do a mix of dragons and angels and demons, it gives you a lot of variety, and you can just change it up according to how much you would like to pay for it or what cards you already have at home. So Seraph of the Sword, I just wanted to mention, a bit of a lower converted mana cost here. It's easy to get her down onto the battlefield and prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Seraph of the Sword. Is a pretty neat ability as well. So this is all of the angels that I'm playing in this deck. So I'm just gonna sweep these away so we can have a look at our dragons. Okay, so I don't play as many dragons as a lot of other people in this deck, so I've chosen my dragons wisely. I have a Tyrant's Familiar here, a 7 mana cost, a 5/5, flying haste, and it has Lieutenant. This means that as long as you control your commander, as long as Kalia is down on the table, it actually gets +2/+2, so it's a 7/7, and whenever it deals, whenever it attacks, it doesn't even have to deal the damage, but whenever it attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. So you can pretty much wipe a lot of cards with this card. If you just have the opportunity to get it down, to attack with it, and you have that opportunity if it gets down with Kalia, as soon as it's on the battlefield, it's able to do some real damage to your opponent's creatures. I also have Balefire Dragon in this deck. Again, it's about getting some big creatures down for me and about also having some extra abilities, and you'll have a little fun with it. So whenever he deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. So that's a pretty hefty card, swinging for a lot of damage. I've also recently included Terror of the Peaks. Spells your opponent cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast, so that might discourage some of your opponents to actually sort of attack Terror of the Peaks. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So pretty much like the other two, both getting a big creature down and some extra abilities. That's definitely what I'm trying to go for with this deck. And also just a bit of mana fixing, as I won't be talking about the mana itself. Every commander deck has a Soul Ring. I have a Soul Ring in this deck as well. Then I also have this Mardu Banner from Khans, just because it helps with the mana. Mindstone, more mana fixing. Commander Sphere, also a card played by pretty much everybody. And Strionic Resonator is pretty fun because you can copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. A triggered ability uses the words when, whenever, or at. And if we have a look at Kalia, it says whenever. So you just might get to use Kalia twice. That's pretty cool. And I'm just gonna show you a few of the demons here. As I'm gonna shuffle them, then you can just see which demons I use for the deck. This is really nifty, some extra card draw, always nice. This is your sort of a permanent nuisance for your opponents. And this is another one like the Dragon Lieutenant. As long as you control your commander, Demon of Wailing Agonies gets +2/+2 and has whenever Demon of Wailing Agonies deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. Very nice black ability there. These are the other demons that I am running. But again, choose the demons you have, the ones you like to buy, or the ones that you already like playing with. That's the cool thing about the commander deck, just being able to play whatever seems the most fun for you. And I'm just gonna show you a few of my sorceries. My husband really likes to play elves. I really like to kill all of them or as many as I can, either with Missile Mortars or Electricity. If I'm playing my Goblin deck, I use this Missile Mortars here because 4 damage just allows me to kill a lot more creatures than just a 1 damage. So that's going over there. Again, sort of just trying to tutor up some cards so I make sure that I get the right angel, demon, or dragon at the right time. Same here, just looking for those cards to make, the difference at that moment in the game. Board wipe in case everything sort of goes south and you need a fresh start. Digging up some creatures that somebody already got rid of, also really useful. And of course, 1 demonic tutor in case we need to find some more creatures. And I have a few enchantments. This is really nice. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to that its power to target creature or player. So this means I'm playing some pretty big creatures. This will trigger hopefully a couple of times, and it really does a big difference. Warstorm Surge enchantment. Pacifism, good old pacifism, just to get rid of some annoying creatures in case they're really messing up the game for me. And in case Kaalia doesn't get either the Lightning Greaves or the Swiftfoot Boots or the Whisper Silk Cloaks, this is another way to make sure that I sort of cast a little protection on her. So, Kaalia of the Vast, really fun deck to play. You can mix it up with whatever demons or dragons or angels you already have. It can be as competitive as you like, and it can be as casual as you like. But it is fun to throw at a lot of large creatures, hitting for a lot of damage without having to pay the mana cost for it, and just really having a lot of fun playing Commander. So this has been my quick guide to my Kaalia deck. I would love to hear more about what your favorite commander is, or if you have some good suggestions for me. Do you see a card missing? Is there an angel, a dragon, or a demon that I really should be playing that I'm not playing? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you.